Today on Flick News, we go through the ShowingTime Market stats as well as the quick stats. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Flick News. Got some interesting stuff to talk about, specifically with single-family homes here. But we'll start off with the quick stats. We've got 19 new listings in the last 7 days. 28 have gone pending. 26 properties have closed and gone sold, and 17 price reduced. So number price reduced, I think that's up a little bit over last week. Number of new listings is down, pending's about the same. So really interesting that new listings and pending, 19 and 28. So fewer listings have come on the market than went pending. As far as active listings, we ended March with 690. April of this year, April of a year ago, 722. And then today we're at 681, of which you can put 256 of those under contract. So 256 was the choices that we had last week as well, 681. So those active numbers really haven't changed much, but the new pending sold price decreased has. As we get into the ShowingTime Market stats, some interesting things here, particularly with single family homes, because the numbers here were not lining up for me with what I'm seeing out there when I'm out on a daily basis. You know, like last weekend I was in a multiple offer situation. There were 3 offers on the property. The week before that, I had an almost multiple offer situation. Our buyers chose not to get involved in that, but that property went under contract in the first weekend as well. And you know, those are more multi-family townhome condos, lower price point for our market here, under $1 million. You know, you get a good property there that can be short-term rented. That's going to get competitive. But some of the other areas, not so much. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But anyways, I digress. I was looking at the single-family homes, and I'm like, man, you know, I've been seeing, like, when I'm looking at comps and we're looking at houses, we're seeing things maybe have gone down 3 to 5% from where they were in 2021, beginning of 2022. And single family homes for ShowingTime Market stats are down almost 20% on the year and 35% in March. And I'm just like, man, what's going on there? I just am not seeing that. So I dug into that a little bit. So let's look at the number first. Average sales price 2022, 2.3 million, give or take. And then for 2023, average sales price for a single family home, 1.489 for 2023. So down 35%. Now year to date, the average is 2.5 versus 1.9, so down 20%. And I'm just like, man, what is going on there? So I looked on the MLS for the first quarter of last year, and there were 10 properties above 4 million that sold last year. The highest priced one was north of 12 million. This year, we've got 6 properties north of 4 million, with the highest priced one at 6 million. So almost half of the highest price. So I really feel like that one property at 12 million is really skewing the single family home data, especially when you've gone from, you know, a total of 120 year to date in 2022. So 120 sales versus 87. So not only are you shrinking that average a little bit, but anyways, I think that's part of what's skewing it, is those top 10, with the biggest one being 12 million, is bringing that average up significantly, because the median is a little bit different. But anyways, percent of list price received, we're at 99.9. So I guess the takeaway for the single family homes is what I'm seeing in most areas in that 1.5 million price point and below, is that we've seen 3 to 5% price drop things are starting to pick up. Very, very heavily area dependent on whether or not you can short-term rent. So Summit Sky Ranch is still going up in Silverthorne. Anyways, percent of list price received. So last year we were at almost 100%, 99.9. This year we're at 96.4% of list price received. Days on market has more or less doubled to 70 days on market on average for single family homes. And then month supply of inventory has more or less doubled as well to almost 3 months there. And then when we get into the townhomes and condos, which tend to be lower price point throughout Summit County in comparison to single family homes, obviously, your average sales price for March of 2023 versus March of 2022 is down 3.4%, which makes sense. It has gone from 101.5% to 98% of list price. Year to date, average sales price is up 8%. I didn't dig into those numbers quite as much, but we're looking at 756,000 versus 816 year to date. And then days on market has almost tripled. We've gone from 17 to 56 days on market in March, and month supply of inventory has more or less doubled from 1.8 to 3.4. So, I think these are good numbers and metrics and data to look at, and sometimes we have to dig a little bit deeper to see why something isn't necessarily matching up with what we're seeing in our day-to-day activities. Quite frankly, I haven't done a $12 million sale. That's the only $12 million sale I have seen in Summit County. Actually, I think there were two. There was one the year before in 2021. Most of the time, we're operating in that 5 million and below over in the Breckenridge, really custom homes. Keystone, in Silverthorne, we're mostly in that 1.5 to 3 million-ish. There is one or two $6 million homes that have sold in Silverthorne. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt, see what you're seeing. We have seen some reduction in price. It does feel like right now that the market is picking up some momentum as I'm starting to get into some more multiple offer situations here on some of those condos and townhomes. But we'll see how the economic data that comes out in the coming months affects people's willingness to buy. I don't think that there's any shortage of money out there, money supply, but it's just, are you willing to take on those interest rates? And yeah, but we'll keep you posted. We're here for you. And so if you have any questions, give us a holler. Team Flick at summitliving.com. Talk to you next week.